See, this is the mandatory procedure for all sessions, including the lab itself. Okay, including the lab itself. You have to switch on your videos. Then only the faculty who is coming to our session will take or will monitor the entire session. Okay, right. Now we are going to start a new chapter, that is Fourier series, representation of a continuous time signals, and Fourier transforms. This is the second chapter that we are going to start. We have completed unit number 1, and already I have provided the material. I'll circulated the material in your WhatsApp group. You please download that material or the PowerPoint presentations. Okay, please prepare for the chapter number 1. Now we are moving into the next chapter, that is chapter number 2, that is Fourier series representation and Fourier transforms. Now I am going to share my screen to you. Now is it okay? Is my screen is visible? Is my screen is visible here? I am sharing my PowerPoint presentation here. You just go through this. The second chapter, chapter number 2, the Fourier series representation and the Fourier transforms. Now see. Madam, is my screen is visible to you? Hello? Somebody has raised their hand. Okay, roll number 257, I think. Just wait a moment. Okay, 57. Roll number 57. Roll number 257. I think you have raised your hand. Do you have any problem? Just wait. Okay, students, do you have any problem? Is my screen is visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Is my screen is visible? I am giving control to you to unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think some of you have raised your hand. 257, 18 series.
262, sir.
262. What is your problem?
Nothing, sir. Screen is visible.
Okay, okay.
చెప్పడానికి హ్యాండ్ రైజ్ చేశాను.
Okay, Nandi. Okay, thank you. Right. Okay, now see here. The Fourier series representation and Fourier transforms. This is the second chapter. Okay, and you people are familiar with these concepts. Already you have learned Fourier series representations and Fourier transforms in your mathematics, engineering mathematics. Okay, so these topics are not new to you, even though you are familiar, but we are going to apply the same concepts for our signals and systems. Okay, so before going to see the Fourier series representation of a continuous, see, basically there are three. Just wait. Okay, basically there are three topics that are belongs to the continuous time signals. The first one is Fourier series. See here I am writing Fourier series. Second one is Fourier transforms. Third one is Laplace transforms. Now these three are very important tools for studying the behavior of continuous time signals. Now here we are going to see the Fourier representation of a periodic signals, that to continuous time periodic signals. That is the concept we are going to study in this particular chapter. See here, Fourier series is completely applicable to only periodic signals. That is not applicable to aperiodic or non-periodic signals. So what do you mean by periodic and aperiodic signals? Already we have seen this definition in the first chapter number 1. What do you mean by periodicity? Periodicity is nothing but repetition of a waveform from minus infinity to infinity over a particular period of time. That is nothing but fundamental time period. Already we have derived that condition also. Fundamental time period of a periodic signal is equal to T is equal to 2 pi by omega. T is equal to 2 pi by omega. That means the given signal is periodic signal. Okay. The given signal is periodic signal with the fundamental time period of 2 pi by omega. Okay, so that is the basic definition he has given. Fourier series is completely applicable to only periodic signals, that is signals which repeats periodically over an interval minus infinity to plus infinity. And one more thing is, not all periodic signals can be represented by Fourier series. So sometimes it is not also possible to represent the periodic signal in terms of Fourier series. So that is why this is a very important point you need to remember. Not all periodic functions or not all periodic signals can be represented by Fourier series. So this is the important point you need to remember. And the next one is very important one is when this Fourier transform or Fourier series will exist. Existence of Fourier series is also very important. Under what conditions the Fourier series can be represented for a continuous time signal. Now see here, so existence of Fourier series has been given in the PowerPoint slide. So the Fourier series to exist for a periodic signal, it must satisfy certain conditions. That means whenever you have to apply a Fourier transform or Laplace transform or Z transform or Fourier series for a particular function, that function may be either continuous time function or discrete time function, whatever it may be. But in this particular chapter, we are going to talk about the continuous time functions only. So that is why whenever we are using certain type of transformations or certain type of mathematical tools, first of all, it is foremost important point is you must define the conditions at which this particular transformation is going to be applicable. So those conditions are called Dirichlet conditions here. Dirichlet conditions here. So for the Fourier series to exist, so to exist the Fourier series of a particular periodic signal, it must satisfy the following conditions. Now see here, I have given 4 conditions. Now these 4 conditions are called the Dirichlet conditions of the Fourier series. Dirichlet conditions of the Fourier series. Later, again, we are going to study about the Dirichlet conditions of Fourier transforms also. Okay, but at this moment we are going to concentrate on the Fourier series representation of a periodic signal. So to represent the Fourier series for a particular periodic signal, it must satisfy the condition. First condition is the function x of t is nothing but the input function or the input signal also, x of t. Now these conditions are, see, Dirichlet condition. What are the Dirichlet conditions of the Fourier series? So Dirichlet conditions are nothing but the necessary and sufficient conditions for testing or for applying or for existence of the Fourier series for a particular periodic signal. Okay, so this is very important for 2 marks question. What are the Dirichlet conditions of the Fourier series representation of a continuous time periodic signal? In that particular case, you need to write these 4 conditions. So at these conditions only, it is possible to represent the Fourier series for a periodic signal. It is possible to represent the Fourier series for a periodic signal. What is the first one? It is a single valued function. So it must be a single valued function. It may not be a multiple or some other values of the function. The second one is finite. So it must have finite maxima and minima. Finite number of maxima. So whatever may be the signal, you must have only finite values, not infinite values of minimum values and maximum values. You will have only finite number of maximum and minimum values. The third one is it must be have or it must have the finite number of discontinuities. So whatever may be the points I am going to cover in the Dirichlet conditions, all are applicable to only the x of t what we have taken. completely based on the function what we have taken or what we have considered. The first one is it must be a single valued function. The second one is it must have finite number of maxima and minima. Third point is it must have the finite number of discontinuities. See, even though it is a continuous time signal, but at some points or at certain time intervals, you will have discontinuities. See, we are not going to focus why those discontinuities are coming under continuous time case. Okay, we are not going in detail. That is another case. But for some continuous time signal, it must have some discontinuities, and those discontinuities must be finite, not infinite. Finite values. So finite values of discontinuities must be there. And the last one is it must be absolutely integrable over a given period. It must be absolutely. That means the value of the integration is finite value. It may not be equal to infinity. If it is equal to infinity, means obviously it is not possible to apply Fourier series. So the integration that you are going to find out in a given period of time should be a finite value. Now these are the 4 necessary and sufficient conditions for testing or for applying the Fourier series analysis for a continuous time signals, right? Now we'll consider one signal x of t. Later we are going to test the periodicity of that particular signal. So what is the necessary condition for testing the periodicity of that particular signal x of t? If x of t is said to be periodic, it must satisfy the condition that x of small t plus capital T should be equal to x of t, x of small t. Necessary and sufficient condition for testing the periodicity of a continuous time signal for all values of time. So it must satisfy this condition. Then only we can say that x of t function is a continuous time periodic function. So in the next slide, I'm going to show you the signal what we are going to consider for testing the periodicity. Now see here. So in Fourier series, there are 3 types of representations are existing. The first one is a trigonometric form, second one is exponential form, third one is complex exponential form. So with these 3 methods, we are going to represent the continuous time periodic signal with the use of Fourier series representation. Now see here. So here, trigonometric form of periodic or Fourier series. So representation is 3 types of representations are available. So first one is trigonometric. Second one is exponential form. Third one is complex exponential form. See, these terms are not new to you. Already you have learned about this trigonometric Fourier series representation, exponential Fourier series representation, and the complex form of Fourier representation in your engineering mathematics. Again, we are going to remain the same topics, and we are going to apply the same concepts to these signals and systems. Okay. Now, first of all, let us consider the trigonometric Fourier series representation. Trigonometric form of Fourier series representation. Now, what is a trigonometric form? We will see. Now, see here. So I am considering a sinusoidal signal. That is x of t is equal to a into sine of omega naught t. And already we know that this is a periodic signal. We have taken the same example in second chapter for testing the periodicity. And we have determined the fundamental time period also. That fundamental time period for this periodic signal is given by t is equal to 2 pi by omega. 2 pi by omega. So for this I am applying or I am adding one more periodic function. So cos function is also one more periodic function that should be added to the considered function a sin omega naught into t over a particular intervals of time, and the fundamental frequency is also given. So here I am considering, see, this is my assumption, I am considering the x of t can be denoted with the two functions, or can be taken the combination of two functions. The first one is cosine function and the second one is sine function. Both cosine function and sine functions are completely periodic signals. Now see here, I have separated the first part, that means n is equal to 0, n is equal to 0, and a1 into cos omega naught. So see here, cos omega naught t plus sin omega naught t, x of t. Now already we know that these two are periodic signals. Periodic signal. See, periodicity is from minus infinity to plus infinity. Don't think that periodicity exists only for positive values of time. So that is why already I told you the definition of periodic signal in the previous slide. So periodic signal is a signal which repeats at regular intervals of time over a particular interval minus infinity to plus infinity. So for our convenience, I am going to consider here only finite values. Later we are going to see infinite number of values. For this particularly for this concept, I am considering the functions cos function and the sine function. So n number of components are there. In this case also n number of components are there, but I have separated this one. Why? Because this is the DC component. Later we are going to study the importance of this DC component. Now see here, so this is the function x of t, which can be represented as a combination of sine functions and cosine functions. So the generalized form of the above equation can be written as, now see here, a naught, already this part has been separated, plus sigma stands for the summation of all the components from 1 to k. Later k may be extended to infinity, but here only, see here, x of t is equal to, so this is the function which I have taken. This is the considered function which I have taken as a combination of two periodic signal, which is defined from 1 to k. So here the k is nothing but a finite value. So you are going to apply n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on up to k. Okay, verify whether you will get this function or not. Okay, if you substitute n is equal to 1 here, you will get a1 cos omega naught into t. Now this is the case. b1 plus sin omega naught into t. Now this is the case. For at each and every value, the function is the combination of sine function and cosine function. That is the case here. So this is the generalized expression for the above one. Now where a naught, a1, a2 and so on, ak, b naught, b1, b2 and so on, bk are constant, and omega naught is the fundamental frequency. Later we are going to derive the expressions for a naught, b n, a n. So generalized form. Please do remember that generalized forms. So where a naught, a n and b n are the coefficients of this trigonometric Fourier series. Later we are going to derive the expressions for these trigonometric Fourier coefficients. Okay, but before going to that, first of all, let us check whether this function x of t is periodic or not. And already we have stated the necessary and sufficient condition for testing the periodicity, that is x of t plus capital T should be equal to x of small t. So that is why, so this is the necessary and sufficient condition for testing the periodicity. So that is why I have considered x of t plus capital T. So what is the minor changes that is to be done for the given function x of t? If we want to define x of t plus capital T, just only substitute small t is equal to small t plus capital T. That is the only minor change you have to do for this particular function x of t to get x of t plus capital T. So now see here, so this is equation number 1. if you are considering this is equation number 1, substitute small t is equal to, substitute small t is equal to small t plus capital T in equation 1. In equation 1. So what you will get? So simply you will get A naught plus sigma 1 to k an into cos of omega naught into n into t plus capital T. So that is what just we have substituted t plus capital T here. Now see here, plus b naught bn into sine function. Now see, so this is the fundamental time period. Capital T denotes that fundamental time period. So if this particular signal is said to be fundamental periodic signal, definitely you must define the fundamental time period also. That fundamental time period is equal to 2 pi by omega naught. Why I have taken omega naught here? Here omega naught is the fundamental frequency. That's what we have chosen for the considered continuous time signal, periodic signal. So substitute t is equal to 2 pi by omega in this case. Simply substitute capital T is equal to 2 pi by omega. Is it not? 2 pi by omega. Okay. Now later, next, please go through this step. Here, this omega naught n term will be taken inside this brackets. So t multiplied by omega naught into n is omega naught into n into t. Now see here, 2 pi by omega naught multiplied by omega naught into n. So this omega naught and this omega naught gets cancelled. You will get only 2n pi. So similarly, that is the case for sinusoidal function also. Okay, sinusoidal function also. Now see, what is cos of 2n pi, cos of 2n pi plus theta? What is the resultant signal? 2n pi plus theta. You don't know the value of n here, but already earlier we have defined the n is defined from 1 to k. That is a finite value. Substitute n is equal to 1 here. Substitute n is equal to 1 here. Now what you will get? So this you will get as cos of n pi. This is not t, this is only plus 2 pi plus theta. 2 pi plus theta. Cos of 2 pi plus theta. Similarly, sine of 2 pi plus theta. So cos of 2 pi plus theta and sine of 2 pi plus theta comes in the first quadrant. So obviously you can treat those functions as it is. So this belongs to, so this you will get cos theta and this you will get sine theta. So if you make this cos of n pi plus theta and sine of n pi plus theta as sine omega t and cos omega t. Now see here, this is the expression for x of t plus capital T. Now let us verify whether we got the correct original function as it is or not. Now see here, now this is x of t plus capital T. Now compare it with equation number 1. This is equation number 2 and this is equation number 1. Yes, exactly, we got the same function. So x of t plus t is equal to x of t. Obviously the given considered function is periodic signal. Why I have tested the periodicity for this particular signal? Later we are going to represent the Fourier series representation with the use of trigonometric Fourier series. So this is the trigonometric Fourier series. X of t is equal to trigonometric Fourier series. So for this function, definitely it must be satisfies the condition of periodicity. We can apply trigonometric Fourier series or exponential Fourier series or complex exponential Fourier series if the function must satisfies the periodic signal or periodicity. Okay, if that is the case, then we need to apply the Fourier signals. Right? Now, this is how we are going to test the periodic signals for considered signal. That is x of t is equal to combination of sine functions and cosine functions. Later, we are going to solve or we are going to derive the expressions for the Fourier series coefficients. Please do remember that trigonometric Fourier series representation. Once again, I will remind you the trigonometric Fourier series representation. See, these things are well known to you people. The only thing is you need to remind yourself what you have studied in your earlier semester, right? Now see here. The trigonometric Fourier series representation of a signal x of t is, see here, I am marking with the green line, a square box. So this is the expression for trigonometric Fourier series representation. Okay. Now what are the components A naught, An and Bn? These are the trigonometric Fourier series coefficients. Okay. To proceed with this, first of all, we are going to take the clarification regarding whether this particular signal is a periodic or not. Okay. Now please do remember this one. Right. Now, so just now I told you that only for verification I have taken the finite value, that is k. Later we are going to extend the trigonometric Fourier series concept by considering k tends to infinity. Now see. Okay. So in the earlier case, for testing the periodicity, only we have taken the finite value of time. But whereas for the trigonometric Fourier series representation, that finite value must be infinite. Why? Because the periodic signal is defined from minus infinity to plus infinity, not for a only finite value of time. So that is why I have taken k tends to infinity here. So just by simply substituting k tends to infinity in the earlier case, that is equation number 1, we got this one. So just the only thing is we are replacing k with infinity. Obviously, this may leads to your trigonometric Fourier infinite. So infinite trigonometric Fourier series representation. So this is the actual representation of the trigonometric Fourier series. Now we are going to determine the Fourier series coefficients A0, An and Bn. A0, An and Bn. So here A0. So why I have separated this A0 term? Why? Because this is having a special importance. So this is the DC component, which will be evaluated separately. If you include this A02 in this summation, obviously this may leads to the wrong results. Okay, we are going to use the separate condition for verifying or separate condition for finding the value of A0. Now see here the evaluation of Fourier coefficients of the trigonometric Fourier series. Now see the case. To evaluate the Fourier coefficient A0, integrate the function x of t over an interval t0 to t0 plus capital T. That means to evaluate A0 function, you must integrate x of t into dt, over an interval t0 to specified interval of time. So you need, why? Because x of t is already, we know that x of t is a periodic signal. You need not verify or you need not integrate the function from minus infinity to plus infinity. If it is said to be periodic, means obviously you can verify the periodicity by considering only one time interval. So that is why I have taken t0 to t0 plus capital T. So in this particular interval, I am going to determine or I am going to integrate this x of t to get the value of A0. So this is the case. Now see here, just I have taken the integration of x of t from t0 to t0 plus capital T. Now what is x of t here? X of t is equal to this one. Now see. So x of t is equal to A0 plus sigma n is equal to 1 to infinity an into cos n omega naught t plus bn into sin n omega naught t. Now this is the x of t you must consider for evaluating A0 component. So that is why first this will be split up into two parts. Why? Because A0 gets separated and the remaining two terms are one part. So apply integration for this A0. So A0 is constant. You can take out from the integration, outside the integration. So A0 into 1 into dt. Later we are going to apply the integration for the remaining function. This one. Now see here. So integral of 1, you will get a t. Integral of 1, you will get t. Now consider interval also. Consider minimum value and maximum value of the time functions also. Now see here, substitute t plus upper limit minus lower limit. Lower limit is only T naught. So this and this gets cancelled. You will get only T. So that is why you have written A naught into T. Now this can be again splitted up into two parts. The first one is AN part, second one is BN part. Okay. Why? Because this summation limits are only n, belongs to n, not for t. But here integration is belongs to the continuous time function x of t. So that is why the summation of an is independent on this integration limit. So that's why I have taken those summation and an also from the outside the integration. So now tell me what is the value. So directly here I have written, or he has written that the value of this is equal to 0 and the value of this is equal to 0. So directly integral t naught to t naught plus capital T into x of dt is equal to a naught into t. So from this a naught is equal to 1 by t integral t naught to t naught plus capital T into x of t. So directly you can get this one. But before going to this, first of all, let us verify whether this is correct or not. Okay, let us verify this is correct or not. So integral of, we can test only for either cos or sine function. We can consider only one function and let us verify whether we will get the 0 or not. Simply I can write 0 here, but you can understand why I am writing 0 by applying your knowledge. Now see here, integral of cos n omega naught into t. So this is the function. First let us verify this t naught to t naught plus capital T. So just you forget for some time, you just forget about the limit. Only consider integral of cos function. So integral of cos is sine n omega naught into t divided by, we are doing integration with respect to time. That means you must consider this also in the denominator. So n omega naught in the limits t naught to t naught plus capital T. T naught to T naught plus capital T. Now what is upper limit? Substitute upper limits and the lower limit. If you substitute, so you can take this 1 by n omega naught outside this part. So you will get only sine n omega naught into t in the limits t to t plus capital T, or t naught to t naught plus capital T. Now see here, sine n omega naught into small t. If you substitute the upper limit, what you will get? If you substitute the upper limit, what you will get? Sine of, see here, sine of n omega naught, sine n omega naught into t plus capital T, t plus capital T. If you substitute the upper limit, you will get this one, minus sine of n lower limit omega naught into t naught. So I have forgotten to write here t naught. Now what is capital T here? What is capital T? 2 pi by omega naught. 2 pi by omega naught. So later you will substitute capital T is equal to 2 pi by omega naught here. So after substituting that, so sine n omega naught into t naught, plus capital T is equal to 2 pi by omega naught multiplied by n into omega naught. What you will get? Only n into 2 pi n. 2 pi n. 2 pi n. Is it not? 2 pi n. Okay. So just by evaluating the value for this, obviously you will get this function. Okay. You will please try this function at your homes. Okay. If you are not going to get the value of 0, I will clarify your doubts in the next class. Okay. That's all for today. I am going to end this session now. I will give you 5 minutes time to clarify your doubts. It's already 9:40. You take 5 to 10 minutes for clarifying your doubts. I will give you control. Please wait. Okay. Students, do you have any doubts regarding today's topic? Regarding today's topic. If you have any doubts, you please raise your hand so that I will give you control for unmuting yourself. Is it clear? See, once again, I'm going to revise the topics what we have discussed today. The first one is, the chapter is Fourier series representation and the Fourier transforms. First of all, we are going to see the Fourier series representation. So how many types of representations that are available? 3 types of representations are available for representing the Fourier series. So first one is trigonometric Fourier series, exponential Fourier series, and complex exponential Fourier series. And before going to see that representations, first of all, you people should identify whether Fourier series representation is going to exist or not. For testing the existence of Fourier series, you have Dirichlet conditions. You have 4 Dirichlet conditions for testing the existence. Okay. The first one is, first of all, x of t must be periodic. Fourier series is completely applicable to only periodic signal. That is not meant for aperiodic or non-periodic signals. So the first and foremost point you need to remember here is Fourier series applicable to only periodic signals, not for aperiodic signals. First one. So you will have 4 Dirichlet conditions for the existence of Fourier series, which will be absolutely integrable in the given interval, and which will have finite number of maxima and minima, and which will have finite number of discontinuities, and which is a single valued function. And after that we have tested the considered function x of t is equal to a naught plus sigma 1 n is equal to 1 to k an into cos n omega naught t plus bn into sin n omega naught t is periodic or not. If it is, already we have verified that that is a periodic signal. Why? Because we have tested the necessary and sufficient condition for the periodicity. X of t plus capital T is equal to x of t. And later we have extended that concept to the trigonometric Fourier series, just simply replacing that k with infinity. So whenever we have represented the Fourier series representation using trigonometric series or trigonometric functions, obviously it is very important to determine the Fourier series coefficients. Those are a0, an, bn. In today's topic, we have determined the expression for the finding the value of a0. A0 is the DC component. Okay. Later we will see how to derive the expressions for determining an and bn. So if we complete of determination of these components, we will solve 1 or 2 problems particularly related to this trigonometric Fourier series. Okay. Do you have any doubts? You please raise your hand so that I will give you control for unmuting yourself. Anyone? Any one of you? Do you have any doubts regarding today's topic? See, these topics are not known to well known to you. Well known to you. Why? Because already you have learned these concepts in your engineering mathematics first year. M1, M2, M3, M4. I don't know. Students, do you have any doubts? Or randomly I will ask you the questions related to today's topic. Let me check how many of you have understand today's topic. Roll number 212, 18 series. Please raise your hand. Where are you? Roll number 212. 18 series, roll number 212. Please raise your hand. Are you there? Okay. Wait, I will give you control to unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself. Two 12. Okay, roll number 212. Please talk. Do you understand the concept what we have covered or what we have discussed today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is your name? What is your name? Roll number 212.
Vinay, sir.
Okay. See, I am asking you only one question. Why we are testing the periodicity for this particular continuous time signals in this case? Madam Chapandi. Madam. Madam Chapandi. Prasanna Lakshmi Madam. Hello. See, time is running. Okay, I don't know the technical problems here.
Sir, my voice is audible.
Okay, madam. Audible.
Sir, roll number 18 series 202
Ah.
and 208. They does not turn on their video still now, sir. From starting onwards.
Roll number 202. Who is roll number 202 18 series?
And
18. Why you have not switched on your video? Again you are off. In off position. Roll number, madam. Roll number 202 and
208, sir.
roll number 202 and roll number 208.
Just yes, sir.
Roll number 208. I think already roll number 208 have switched on their video, madam.
Yes, sir. Just now, sir. Just.
See, once again I am repeating, we have received serious instructions from the authorities. Okay,